At the end of his sophomore season with the NCAA's University of Alaska-Anchorage Seawolves, Jay Beagle needed some assistance from his father, Al. More specifically, he needed a job. He needed an opportunity to prove he could play at the pro level. He played in Anchorage for 2 years and then he decided college wasn't for him, so he phoned me and he said, "Dad, you've got to find me a team," recalled Al Beagle, a proud hockey parent, ditto for his wife, Sue, and longtime operator of an auto repair shop in northeast Calgary. "So I was calling East Coast League teams. I just phoned them and said, 'Hey, I have a kid who is in college and he's not going back next year. So he's looking for a place to play this spring.' I got him a tryout with Idaho, of the ECHL, and they wound up winning the Stanley Cup. So that was pretty good. He goes to a team that wins the championship. And then he got scouted by Hershey, and then he got scouted by Washington." Now 32, Beagle is one of the many reasons the Washington Capitals are still playing this spring, deadlocked with the Vegas Golden Knights in what is now a best-of-5 for the right to sip from the Stanley Cup. Beagle certainly isn't among the headliners on a roster that features the likes of Alex Ovechkin, Nicholas Backstrom and Braden Holtby, but the fourth-line center has been one of those unsung heroes so crucial to a deep playoff run. Vegas Golden Knights left wing Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, left, of France, takes Washington Capitals center Jay Beagle down during the second period in Game 1 of the NHL Hockey Stanley Cup Finals. John Locker, AP the local lad, a graduate of the Simons Valley Minor Hockey Association, winner of the 2003 Air Canada Cup as a member of the midget AAA North Stars and later a standout for the Alberta Junior Hockey League's Calgary Royals, was the first forward to hop the boards as the Capitals killed off a 5-on-3 power play during the third period of Wednesday's Game 2 in Sin City. With his squad still clinging to a one-goal lead and on the verge of swiping home ice advantage with a 3-2 victory, Beagle played 155 of the final 217. Game 3 is slated for Saturday at Capital One Arena in DC. He puts in twice the effort and twice the work as everyone else, teammate TJ Oshie told the Washington Post earlier this month. Echoed Capitals head coach Barry Trotz in that same feature, "A guy that is not scared of work. He's not scared of preparation. He's not scared of giving his all every day. If not for that willingness to outwork both friends and foes, Beagle likely wouldn't be on the big stage, wouldn't be oh so close to having his name engraved on hockey's historic hardware." Washington Capitals center Jay Beagle, 83, keeps Tampa Bay Lightning left wing Chris Kunitz, 14, away from the puck during the second period of Game 6 of the NHL Eastern Conference Finals Hockey Playoff Series. Pablo Martinez Monsiváis, AP his improbable journey to the NHL might have dead-ended in Anchorage, or perhaps in Boise, Idaho, where his late-season look-see with the ECHL Steelheads in 2007 turned into a run to the Stanley Cup. Perhaps the Calgary product would have peaked in Hershey, home base to both the Chocolate Empire and to the American Hockey League's Bears. There, he helped the Capitals farm team to back-to-back Calder Cup crowns in 2009-10, in the NHL's salary cap era, with fourth lines often filled by the young and cheap. Beagle is now in his 7th full campaign with the Capitals. "Of all the players I've had, and I'm a player agent also, he's probably one of the best at fighting through adversity," said Doug Hergenheim, Beagle's bench boss for a 2-season stint with the AJHL's Royals, now nicknamed the Mustangs. "The route he's gone wasn't easy. He's done it the hard way and boy I'll tell you, I'm very proud of him. It was a tough road, but he worked hard. He is one of the most coachable kids you could ever ask for. Great kid, good family, and just a workhorse. And it shows. It's got a pretty good smile on my face every time I turn the TV on and see him." Beagle has so far contributed 2 goals and 4 assists in 20 contests this spring. The stats don't tell the whole story. With the hard-working center, they never have. What you see with Jay Beagle in the NHL right now is exactly what we saw at the collegiate level. He's really carved out a niche for his position and he's got valuable components in order to win hockey games, said Dave Shiak, Beagle's coach at the University of Alaska-Anchorage and another guy who is working the phones in an effort to find a professional employer for the undrafted pivot. He's obviously excellent on face-offs. That's what he was with us. He's strong on the forecheck. He's a really good penalty killer. He has a very strong cycle game, can hang on to the puck and is hard to push off the puck. He was real responsible in the defensive zone. And on top of that, he is a great team player. He's been kind of unheralded for his college career and pro career. If you've coached him, you know the value that he brings to the table. And he's had to do it the hard way. He's a hard-working, blue-collar kid and he brings that approach and he's had to carve his way to get to the NHL. Obviously, he's done a nice job of that, and he's become a key component for the Capitals making a stretch run and hopefully ultimately winning a Stanley Cup. This must have all seemed so far-fetched when L was cold calling ECHL squads in 2007, hoping to convince a coach that his son deserved an audition. Jay Beagle in 2003 when he played for the Calgary North Stars. Courtesy, R. The feedback was positive. When Beagle arrived in Boise, Laxville became convinced he had big league chops. I was down there to watch the playoffs, and Derek's wife comes up to me and she says, "I've gotta get Jay's autograph because he's going to make the NHL." L said. I just kind of laughed like, yeah, sure. I was pretty oblivious to all of it, I guess. I was just having fun with what he was doing, still is. You know what happens, I think, is your kid is in the NHL for so long that you kind of get used to it, said Al, whose boy now has totaled 553 big league appearances, including 82 postseason skates. And then people say, "Oh, that's awesome," and I'm like, yeah, I guess it is. You can kind of take it for granted, and then when they get in the playoffs like this, you're thinking, whoa, this is the Stanley Cup final. It kind of wakes you up again. This is really something else. W. Gilbertson at postmedia.com, twitter.com/Wes Gilbertson.